I feel like when I go in there, um, I'm summed up. They already feel like they know who I am, and they base my treatment based on that. They sum me up because I'm overweight. They sum me up because I'm black. And I had to really put this last doctor in check. And I think I surprised her that I knew just as much as her, because yes, bitch, I do research. And you're not going to just sit here and tell me, about my body. And this is why we should care about how we're being projected. Because I hate to say it, it's almost like, damn, you got to be on guard at all times. You really do. And I hate to sound, again, angry and judgmental and racist, because I'm not a racist, but it's just the truth. It is the damn truth that you really, when you're African American, just have to conduct yourself in just a certain way. And I think you should conduct yourself in a manner of way at all times, but you always have to be seeping out. And when someone is caring for you, does this person have my best interests at heart? If they give me surgery, and I hate to say it, sometimes I think that, is this the opportunity to kill me? Like, and you can't think that doesn't trickle down in the justice system. They have this stand your ground law. Okay. On one hand, that law could be very good, right? Because it can protect someone who needs to protect themselves. But we all know this was not the situation here. It wasn't. If you didn't get your ass out the car and follow this young boy, he could still be here. He could still be with his parents, and it would not have been a loss for them and a loss for our community. And that was another thing. Barack Obama put out a quote that this was not just a loss for his family or one community, but for America. Barack, I've always supported you, but that's bullshit. Okay, because America is not affected by this. We are. His family is, and our community is. I think other groups of people can sympathize, but they will never truly understand the pain that comes with being black. I remember like one day, and actually this was not so long ago, me and my husband, I don't even remember where it was coming from. I think it was on Thanksgiving or something. And I left my car parked somewhere because I didn't want to drive drunk or something, and I jumped in the car with my husband. And I guess, I don't want to say we live in an affluent neighborhood, but I guess it's will be considered middle class, considering where I've come from. And we're driving down the street, and it's at night, and excuse me, the street was very dark where I left my car. Anyway, I remember we were driving down the street, and I remember there was a cop coming up the main Ave, and I looked right at the cop, and my gut told me he was going to stop us. And we turned the corner, and we went down maybe 2 blocks, and he turned on his lights, and he pulls us over. And I'm like, I already knew it was for no fucking apparent reason, except for the fact that we was black, honestly. And I had never been in that situation before. I had heard of people saying it, and sometimes you just don't know until it really happens to you. But I mean, I can only imagine. But yeah, what I just said, you can only imagine. But we live it. And I remember being petrified. And the cop said he had stopped us because there wasn't that many houses on that block. And that it was dark. And he basically wanted to know why we were coming down that street. And I'm just like, so we didn't run the stoplight. You know, a tail light is not out. You just stopped us because you saw two black people coming down the street. Because I'd have to ask, if they were white people, would you have stopped them? I don't know. You know, and he started really kind of like interrogating us, like, have you been drinking? Have you been doing this? And it was just kind of like, what? And he asked my husband to get out the car. Okay. Let me tell you, my husband is a 6'4" black man. Probably the biggest baby ever. But I know that's not what that cop was gonna see. So I'm like literally shitting bricks, okay? Because I'm like, oh my God, I hope this man doesn't do anything to my husband. Because honestly, I probably would have flipped the hell off, and God only knows I'll probably be in jail. And that was the most scariest situation like ever, because honestly, this is the things that you have to think about. You don't know. You don't know if any minute if something's going to pop off. You don't know if you're just going to be killed just because if you answer the question wrong. You know, just, oh my God. Just the other day, the same day that the verdict came in, you know, my mom was telling me this. My mother and my aunt went to go visit my brother who lives in Virginia Beach. And my brother has 3 boys. And his youngest, who is 10 years old. They were out, yes, it was late, you know, according to what my mom tells me, but they live in a house and it's right next to a store. So, you know, my brothers used to living in the country, you know, and used to having, you know, freedom, but I guess they live more in the city part now. So he said the kids were outside playing. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, my mother was out there, like, basically, you know, I don't know, she just felt something wrong. She just kept saying, you know, y'all need to come in the house. Y'all need to come in the house. It's too late. You don't need to be outside. And my little nephew apparently was looking in the window in the store. I don't know why, but he was. And my mother said, out of nowhere, this cop car just comes screeching into the driveway where the store was and pretty much almost hit my nephew with the car. My brother, another tall ass black dude, jumps up like, what the hell, that's my son. And the guy was, you know, I heard the cop was like, oh my bad, you know, it's been a lot of break-ins, and, you know, I wanted to know what was going on. And here's my thing, because I'm saying this for my people, but I'm also saying it for other groups of people. I want you to try to understand what it's like to be black. Understand, because, and I say this because we are not all bad people. And every group, I believe this, every ethnic group out here has people in their group that they're not proud of, that are not up to par. You know, so don't make it just seem like it's just us. But we also have very educated people, you know, anyway, I just feel like I'm not even doing this right. Like, I don't know, because I'm trying not to get too emotional about it, and I just hope I'm getting my point across. I just didn't know what I was going to say on this thing, but anyway, I'm saying this because I think a lot of us think that we blow racism out of proportion. I think you think that we're just angry, and it's nothing worse than being called an angry black person or angry black woman, because to me, when you say that, you stop listening and there's a lack of sensitivity. And in order for us to like really band together as just people, and get past this, we have to have sympathy for each other's struggles. Point blank. You don't have to just have sympathy for our struggles. We got to have sympathy for your struggles. Because there's a lot of us that don't really care about what the hell y'all go through either, to be honest. Because we feel like we've been through a lot of shit, and if we feel like you don't care about us, we don't care about you. But it shouldn't be that way. We have to learn how to respect each other's differences and understand each other's struggles. We all can't be telling our same story and nobody's listening. Okay? So I say this to say that, how do you roll up on a 10-year-old child? A 10-year-old child. You ain't see him really doing anything. Now, I don't know why he was looking in the window, but he's a kid. Who the fuck knows? He's a kid. But you ain't even wait and see if he was going to do something. And he's 10. And he looked more like he's 7 because he's little as hell. And I'm just like, how do you roll? Like, I'm trying to understand, where is your mind when you do something like that? I mean, how bad do you think about us that you would do something like that? And the whole thing scares the hell out of me, because if my brother's I know my brother, if he's like me, we have badass tempers. So my brother jumping up, I mean, he could have lost his life. Both of them could have lost their lives. And then my mother and aunt and them down there, I mean, it could have just been horrible. And just like that. Just like that. And I don't know if you guys can comprehend that is something that we deal with all the time. And so I am angry because of that. Because there's a lack of sympathy from some, and I'm not saying everyone. I'm not saying just white people. I ain't just saying, I mean, there's racism in every group of people. That we are racist toward y'all are racist towards us. I mean, it's just all fucking across the board. I'm not saying that, matter of fact, never mind. But I don't even know if I'm making sense. Right now, I'm just so upset. I just had to say something. I didn't even know what I was going to say when I came on here. I just had to get my emotions out because it was just really starting to eat at me. But we're not as overly sensitive as you think. And I've just heard comments from other people, from other groups of people about this, that just had such a lack of sympathy and care, and pretty much was like, oh well, I just cannot even comprehend that. To me, when that verdict was made, not guilty, you basically said that black life is not valuable. That's how I see it. That our life is not valuable. Because this has happened so many times. And there's not a value for our life. I wholeheartedly believe this. That if this was a child of another ethnicity, and predominantly I would say white, this would be different. This would be different. So I asked, what do we do to go forward? Because we cannot keep waiting for the NAACP or Al Sharpton to do something. We need to start doing something. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, but like, again, I really feel like we've come complacent because some laws have to be changed. And I feel like a lot of us have just sat here and have taken it. And in the day where King was alive and Malcolm X was alive, they would not have taken it. And I'm not promoting violence. That's not what I'm saying. But We're in a day and an age that an Oprah Winfrey could exist. We're in a day and an age that we have a black president, and yet we are still so far behind. It's really mind-boggling to even comprehend. And I feel like some of us have been self-medicating. We care more about our hair and our nails. We care more about the car we're driving and the house we're in than what's going on in our community these days. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful, because I do believe we care, but we don't care enough anymore to actually do something about it. Some of us are afraid of the backlash. Some of us are probably just too goddamn tired because you're busting your ass working and trying to take care of some kids. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're desensitized to it. But when you think about not doing anything, and you think about just putting up a picture of yourself with a hoodie, you're really not affecting change. And the fact of the matter is, if you are African American, Jamaican American, if you black, because I don't even like you dissecting us all into little groups. You know, we're all black. There's a target on your back. That is the truth. And you have to be careful. And we have to do things to affect that change. And it can start by us changing the way we conduct ourselves and how we treat each other and how we treat ourselves. Respect yourself enough to fight for laws to be changed. Have enough love and pride for yourself to ask BET to take some of this bullshit off the TV. I, for one, never was really into, all these reality shows, Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives. And I'm not going to lie, recently I have started watching it because it is fucking entertaining. It is, some of it, but you got to remember, I could look at it for what it is. For me, it's an escape. I know all of us don't conduct ourselves that way. It's just a form of entertainment. But I don't know if everyone else could look at it that way. So that is a problem. And we have to start being way more proactive about demanding change. We have to. If you can't, like I said, you can't just depend on NAACP. How many of us even join NAACP? How many of us are even behind them? How many people even know what Al Sharpton represents? I mean, I really don't. I mean, I've heard so many negative things about the man, from when I was younger, that I never even gave him a chance. When you hear Farrakhan and just the name sounds so intimidating, I don't know, I'm not saying everyone feels that way. I'm just saying that's how I feel. And I'm just asking, what are we going to do about it? Are you going to sit here and let this happen to someone else? Because to me, it's no different from a rape victim getting raped and not speaking about it and doing something about it and going to the courts about it. You are partially, and I say partially, responsible for the next person that get raped by that person if you didn't say anything. And I know that statement is going to offend a lot of people, but hell, I am a twice over rape victim, and I didn't say anything the first time because hell, I was definitely afraid. But the second time I did, because I didn't want anyone to have to go through what I went through. A lot of us can only imagine how Trayvon Martin parents feel, but I don't want it to become a reality for us. I have nephews. I have a younger brother. I have cousins that are teenagers, that are little boys. I mean, hell, I worry about the grown men in my family. I worry about my husband going to the store late at night because I don't know if it's going to be one of us or a cop. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And we have to start doing something about it. And I don't think violence is the answer, you know. And I'm not saying I know what the answer is, but we have to start demanding change and start having more love and respect for ourselves. And start getting some of this bullshit off TV. Start conducting ourselves in a better way. And I don't know. Something my father said a long time ago, and I used to never. My ears used to be closed to my damn father because I grew up in a mixed community. I grew up in a predominantly Latino and Italian American environment. So honestly, I didn't really have my first African American friend until I was like 19 years old. And so I didn't understand. The race wasn't just never talked about in my household, you know. And I didn't live in a house with my father. I lived in a house with my mother and my stepdad. And it wasn't something that was talked about all the time. But when my father would come around, he would just be so intense with it. Like, you're a black woman, you this and you that, and you know, you're going to be... you know, he used just to be come at it so hard, like you're gonna have to work twice as hard, and I used to really shut my, cause I was like, what the hell is this man talking about? He is crazy. And you know, and you know, I didn't really understand, you know, and I never been one to play the race card, you know. And I've dealt with some racism as a child, but never to the extent of, you know, what was going on back in the day. But I remember when I got a little bit older, and it was another case, something like this. I don't know if it was the Rodney King case or I can't forget Louis. I can't remember his name at the time. I don't know what was going on at the time, but my father made a suggestion, is that he was like, marching don't do anything. And I was just looking at him like, what the hell? Like, how you, at the Martin Luther King, everybody marched, like, how could you say marching don't do anything? And he said, you want to affect change? How about you stop spending your American dollars? And I never really thought about that shit. And it was like, you know, we spend so much money in this country. We spend so much money in this country. I'm going to say that again. We contribute so much more than we think to this country. What would happen if we just for one day did not spend nothing, like except for our bare necessities, like getting to work? What will happen? Will we catch their attention then? What would it do to the economy? Like, really? And I'm not suggesting we do that, you know, so don't, like she said, do this and now we're gonna be. I'm just saying, what would happen? How do we gain the attention of the lawmakers, of government, and saying we will not stand for this anymore? What would happen if we had just a national walkout from work? Like, we demand not to work. And then we all band together and did that until justice is served. What would happen? Because it will affect, you know, you cannot run this country without any of us. There's many of them who say go back to Africa and say, you know, we're not important. We are important. But how many of you, I bet, will not do that because we are afraid? You're afraid you're going to lose your job. You're afraid of all these things. And it's just, we cannot keep living in fear. It's almost like the noose is, we still have the noose around us, but it's just been loosened up. That's how I feel. It's almost like that. And what are we going to do? Because now I feel like it falls on us. And I don't know. I mean, Trayvon already lost his life. I would like for justice to be truly served. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, he's already been not guilty, but I'm hoping, I don't know, NAACP or someone could intervene. And I don't even know enough about law to know what could happen now, but I know we can try to do something going forward to prevent this from happening to your sons, your nephews, your cousins, in our community again. We just got to do better. I know that I feel like I'm being long-winded and everything, but it's just I'm passionate about this, because it hurts my heart and I can't sleep, and we have to do better as a people, because again, we go around, we killing ourselves. We're and I'm not saying all of us, but again, we have some gangbangers, we have some people killing like I said, we're killing ourselves. Some of us don't respect ourselves. I see girls walking around wearing with earrings that says bitch on it. Like, really? Why? We call each other niggas. I mean, that's why I didn't get too upset with the Paula Deen thing. I mean, we call ourselves that, and it's just like, when did that become okay? And then, when someone else says it, we are so upset. And I know that is such a loaded word for us, and someone will never understand. I think Paula Deen made a comment saying that, well, what's the difference between, calling them a nigger and a cracker? It's a big difference, because the word is so loaded. It comes with so much pain, and it comes with over 400-year history behind it. And how the hell do we sit here and call each other that? I don't understand. And how the hell do you expect anybody else to respect us when we don't respect ourselves? When there's a divide between us, between light skin and dark skin, between the bougie and the non-bougie, in the ghetto or whatever, I mean, come on, the ones with degrees and not degrees, the crab in the barrel mentality. I'm sick of that shit. Like, seriously, when the hell are we gonna band together and do something fucking positive for all of us? Stop putting the next dude down because he didn't go to college. You don't know his situation. I know a lot of people that didn't go to college that's very intelligent. Stop putting the person down, or stop putting the person on the pedestal just because they do have a degree. I mean, it's just, I just hope that you're hearing me, not just listening, but hearing me. And before you respond to this video, before you come at me or whatever the hell y'all gonna do or whatever, just let what I'm saying marinate for a second. Let what I'm saying marinate for a second, and chew on it for a second, and really think about what I'm getting at here, or what you think I'm getting at here. Because when I say put people on a pedestal with a degree, I know they're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But I mean, think about that too, because I've had people who have treated me differently now because I have a degree. I'm the same Rashida Moore. I'm still the same Rashida Moore from Newark. Yes, I'm more educated, but that doesn't make me better than you. And it doesn't give you the right to be jealous of me or hate me. And make you feel less of a person because I now have went to school and got a degree. I am not better than you because I am lighter skin. And you are not better than me because you are darker skin, or you are not less than me. We have to stop that bullshit first in between us. Just because you live in a damn house and one person lives in an apartment doesn't mean you're better. There's so many of us that's looking down on the dude on the corner. You don't know his story. And that's the problem. There is more than one African American experience and story. And we don't even listen to each other's stories. And we expect sympathy and some sort of emotion from other groups of people when we can't even do it for ourselves. Again, I get to, yes, they should understand because it's a human thing. But we have to think that they are intelligent enough to even see it that way. And until we can evolve as a group of people to be able to see it that way, we have to do our part in this and make sure that we are affecting change. I think that's all I'm going to say, because we are affecting change. And that's it. I don't have anything else to say. Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin, and I pray for your family. I pray that justice is prevailed, and I pray that we do something. I pray that we band together and we can once be one group of people and not just Haitian American or African American or Jamaican, that we are just one group of people that band together and do something for the good of our people, and not get so complacent with the way things are now, because you have to remember it was not always this way, and we had to fight for the right to be bougie. We had to fight for the right to go to college and for the luxuries that we do have. And the fight is not over. The fight is not over. So don't give up in the ring. Don't lay your ass on the sofa. Let's do something. Because next time it could be one of our kids. Peace.